Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today for More to Life. Korean woman flips on American feminists. Stop trying to make 4B movement about you. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that channel. It's Chow Time.
So can we talk about how men are super weird and always try to cover up the fact that they don't have any boundaries within their friendships?
Man hater, huh?
With women being super petty and falling out over anything. Like, for an example, if you my homegirl or my friend, my sister, and you try to hop down on a nigga that I used to talk to or that I'm currently dealing with, of course it's smoke. Why wouldn't it be? But for men, they would literally backdoor their homeboy, literally spin a block on their homeboy ex-girlfriend, their ex-play. They might try to talk to their current girlfriend, literally, and they'll always act like it's just no beef. I don't really care. It's her. You know what I'm saying? Me and my bro, we good. No, y'all just don't have boundaries, and y'all friendships are fake.
No, it's the women that you guys are women that we don't care for. Men that are like this with the women like you or the way you're speaking, these are all the women that get passed around the friendship group. These are not women that these men are in love with or these men want long-term relationships with. They know that these are just the village bicycles.
Like, what? We are all human. That's dumb.
No, that's actually not his boy. That's what's happening, right?
That's
That
true too.
guy
This is the other
should
part.
stop talking to that guy. Dissociate himself from him, because anybody spinning a block on my girl, it's an issue. And that's happened to me in the past, right? I had a friend, he tried, very cool too. Knew him since he was 13 years old. Had to cut him off, because once a guy does that once, he'll keep doing it, and also he'll stab you in the back for something more serious. Why even risk it? As a man, you can't have guys like that. But that does.
I do have a story of one of my best friends and his best friend. Same thing. His ex moved in with him. They got in, did the deed when my best friend was just like, whoa, we just ended our relationship. Now you're sleeping with her. I get it. I get that part. But with the way she was explaining it, I thought it was more just guys passing women around with each other. But
Happen. You have some guys that will defend their boys, and I was even guilty of it before when they're not their boys. Stop doing that.
I feel like there's so much pressure on the younger generation when it comes to like dating or finding your partner, because I feel like now, especially like young lads, boys, men, there's a lot of pressure on them to like have it and have money at a young age. And what we fail to recognise is that things take time to build. It takes so much time to build. Like, not everyone has wealth overnight. Not everyone has a successful business overnight. I just feel like we put so much pressure on, like, oh, broke boy this, broke boy that. And it's like, listen, don't be with someone that hasn't got drive or ambition. But it doesn't matter if someone hasn't maybe got, hasn't got it right now, but as long as you see that someone has potential, drive, ambition, they've got good morals, clean heart, the way they treat people is in line with your values, do you know what I mean? That is so much more important. As long as you see that drive and ambition in them, you can build, and you can build together, and in building together you'll have such a strong foundation, and you'll build a level of trust, and you'll build a level of, like, that foundation that, like, your marriage can, do you know what I mean, if you want to get married or if you're long-term partners, can be based on, because you go through a lot when you build him. And I just think it's mad to expect like a 22-year-old to like have a Range Rover and be a millionaire. And it's just like, girls, like, nah, man, it's mad. Things take time to build.
Yes, she's talking to a lot of girls, and a lot of girls don't realize all the guys that are there and they have a woman built it with them, and even those guys even do it later in life. I'll give you
all my aunts and uncles, the lifestyle that they live now, most people, especially women, would love their lifestyle. They did not acquire this lifestyle in their 20s or even in their 30s or even in their 40s. They acquired it in their 50s and 60s. That's when they were able to acquire such wealth that it can live a much more extravagant lifestyle. It took them, 30, 40 years almost to build together to get that lifestyle. Now imagine one person, especially the guy trying to do it all himself, all that pressure. There's not very going to be very many men that are going to be able to carry that along the way.
Example, me, I didn't start building myself until 36, 37, right? Sometimes men take longer, and then something just clicks one day.
Yes.
That's why, as a woman, and that's what men
I always say it's that rock bottom moment to where it doesn't matter what you do now, there's only up.
want. Men nowadays that are around that don't have it, they want a woman that's going to work with them because some of them may be working on themselves, right? They may have a plan set in motion and they're actually making money. They're not making as much money as they should be making, but they have hope. And so many women do toss those guys to the wayside. But you know what? It's fine because you will find a woman that wants to work with you. And not even just want to work with you, you will find a patient woman. And every man nowadays needs a patient woman. That's
Mm.
why so many guys are checking out. Guys are leaving because they're looking over and yonder, to and fro, trying to find a woman that's patient.
Facts.
And you know what comes with that patient? A woman that's feminine and delicate. That's what guys are looking for,
Mm-hmm.
right? I even seen a woman talking about it the other day. The woman that's with DDG. She was like, oh, she's so soft and so feminine. And I said, wow, the way she was looking at it, she's never really seen femininity that way. And other women were bashing her. And I'm looking like, no, don't bash her. That woman is an example. But yeah, shouts out to her.
I don't date broke men.
We do not care.
Not because I want to take advantage of men, but because I'm not broke. And I have a quality of life that I currently have, and I want to keep that same quality. So why would I date somebody that's broke? It's okay to be broke. We just not gonna get together.
And a guy will see you and keep it moving, right? Because number one, a guy, I gotta call a spade a spade. Whether he's broke, balling, or broke, is not gonna want you. You're not gonna be a man's first choice
Nope.
anywhere. I just gotta be realistic.
Allowed to like just leave the house without a permit. Like I feel like if they go somewhere, they should always have to state where they're going, timestamps of when they're coming back, and state their business because they are a danger to society. They are literally a threat to society. How do we legislate this? Can we organize in some way? Because I mean, they
It's always the Indian chicks and the Middle Eastern chicks that just think so extremely about men and just, like because they were treated a certain way, they just think men should be treated the exact same way. It's not about equality for them, it's about literally reversing and revenge.
already legislate women's bodies, and I'm just trying to legislate safety for everybody else. So let's see what we can get going because if we can even just get a bill talked about this, that would be great.
What just happened, right? The videos these women make, like, how are they just gonna pass a bill to see what men are? That's something you do when a man's on parole, when a man actually gets in trouble. If we have something like that without there being any issues, then we have a military state, right? We have police government where they're following everything you're doing. It's already like that in New York where they have cameras everywhere, but at least that's like making you log your phone calls. I'm going to be here on this day. Could you imagine? But we do have that's coming in the future.
It is.
But still, something like
I
that.
mean, sooner or later, all of our transactions are going to be digital. They're going to try to convert over to cryptocurrency for, the US dollar. Then they'll know exactly where we're at and exactly what we're doing, exactly what we're buying. Can shut off our bank accounts whenever they want. They can, as soon as we spend money on something that they don't like, they can just shut it off.
That going on, it would be crazy outside.
But yet women, like these women, are pushing more and more for that totalitarian type regime of government because they're giving the government all of this power. Why? Because they want all these little benefits, these little, what do you call it? Advantages for women, but they don't realize they're giving up much, much more.
Guys would not be hearing that, and guys are not hearing that. I don't know why these women think I know what it is. This equality we have going on in the West. This equality has women thinking they can talk, and make anything they want. They can say anything they want, and it's getting horrible. I will let Lex Nady talk about it.
So the misogyny and patriarchy has gotten so bad in South Korea that
white women need to chill the f*** out.
Word.
Okay, I'm Korean American, so I wanted to not say anything about this, but I gotta say something. And nothing to this creator, I just stitched her. So I noticed a lot of, in my feed, I've been getting a lot of white women saying, oh, 4B movement in Korea, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you, the 4B movement in Korea is nothing like the white feminism and the feminist movement in America.
That need to be said again and again with fierce conviction.
The 4B movement in Korea is nothing like the white feminism and the feminist movement in America. The cultural and the social systems and the family, how the families are run in Korea is nothing like how the families and the social structure is in America.
True.
White women have the most power, privilege, and freedoms of any women on this planet.
100%.
And if you look at any relationships, as long as it's not an abusive relationship, that's a whole nother deal. But any normal relationships, if you look at it in America, women have the power. I would say white women have more power than the average white man in America.
Ooh.
And when I see the white women trying to jump on this 4B movement, it's just like they're just trying to use women of color, like they've done historically.
So she said they're trying to use women of color like they've done historically. And they're doing it in Korea. You know which was one of the first communities they did it with? The black community. They pushed feminism all through the hood, all through the black community. And then what happened? The black women started becoming more masculine than they were. And it caused the issue. But I think she's going to talk about some of the issues it causes.
Historically, white women have always used women of color to get their agenda through and to get...
I mean, feminism itself really only benefits the top tier white women. Other than that, every other woman, especially minority women, kind of get the shaft.
ahead and then leave us behind. I've noticed the white women, the culture of white women in America tend to bash white men.
They do.
That's because they want to be white men. They want the power. They want the money.
They do.
They want the status. As a woman of color, the biggest problem in this country, in America, is white supremacy. And white women have voted Trump in twice. They've always done things to actually harm women of color and even themselves because they don't want to deal with the problem, which is white supremacy. And white supremacy is the biggest problem on this planet, in America. So when I see white women doing this, it's always self-serving. They just want to serve themselves and get themselves ahead when really the problem was them. The problem was them not dealing with the white supremacist system, buying into it, upholding it, and putting us all in this situation.
I'm not so into the full white supremacy part of everything so far, but I do agree that white women did benefit the most out of feminism, and they did shaft pretty much all minority women.
So stop using women of color and movements that is nothing to do with white feminism to get yourselves ahead, because at the end of the day, you leave us behind every time. White women uphold capitalism, and you uphold white supremacy. This is all about trying to get yourselves better, and it's not about making all women better.
You heard it. It's about making themselves better. But yeah, they're pushing it hard all over TikTok right now.
It's not just white women now; it's black women that are really jumping on it too. I mean, even Asian women. I saw Asian women making videos of it too. It's just the loudest feminism, the feminists that are really into it.
You see 4B movement. There's so much confused. It's so confusing to a lot of women, right? Because they think that it's about these 4Bs, and these 4Bs, it's something that they can't even uphold. I'll tell you what's happening. A lot of the situations, a lot of the women are not going with the 4B movement because of poverty, right? And not poverty. I mean, like, they don't have enough money. So if they had more money, they would have children. they would do all of those things that all those 4Bs are about, right? So it's a little misconstrued, and I think they're pushing the narrative hard to where more women are picking it up, more women and more women, and it's being pushed and pushed and pushed until it's going to spiral out of control to where it's, oh, one person said it's about this, one person said it's about that. She said, and I seen another woman said it that's in Korea. It's not even a factor there.
Is that half of these dudes talking about this don't even have a passport, nor do they have the funds to go to another country to purchase a wife, because that's quite literally what they're trying to do.
I mean, guys talk about sports all the time. They love sports. They're not playing the sport. They're not, making money off the sport, but they love talking about sports. So just because you don't have a passport and we want to achieve something later in life doesn't mean we're not passport bros or don't want to be passport bros. I've been doing passport bro videos for a little over a year now. I just got my passport back recently, like last month. I'm traveling this month. It takes time. Not everyone is just, I'm a passport bro. Let me just grab my freaking passport and just get the fuck out of here with my millions of dollars. That doesn't work that way.
Only are you admitting that out of the hundreds of millions of women in America, that none of them want you. But instead of reflecting on that fact and actually trying to alter yourself and better yourself in any way, you're like, nah, I'll just go to an impoverished nation and prey on a very young woman whose situation is so dire that they would rather marry me, the worst dude anybody knows, just to get out of those circumstances.
And women like you is the reason why they're getting it. Mm-hmm. Because y'all do sound language. Shaming, insulting, guilt, and need to be right all the time.
Someone's a big fan of The Godfather.
And not to mention, this is happening. Like, it's almost like those other countries don't...
What's that star on your face?
Right?
And the septum ring in your nose. Like,
and all them earrings.
Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's like she's the Joker. You see what guys are facing? This is who guys are going. It's jokers.
Glitter all over the freaking
eyes. It's sick. Look at her.
They don't want you either. Not even to mention the ones who actually do go and purchase a wife, because that's what you're doing, right? You're purchasing someone to bring them back here in exchange for a green card. Half the time, those women get their green card, then divorce the dude that got it for them.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
And go on to live their best life. And you know what? Slay queens.
I think TikTok needs to ban all you women from repeating the same thing over and over again. All right? I didn't heard, I would say, probably over 2,000. Literally, 2,000 different videos about passport bros all saying the same thing. And you know what's a weird thing? A lot of those women have septum rings in their nose. Why? Why is that, right? It's like...
It's not just that, more. They also have a lot of tattoos everywhere and tattoos on their faces. That would be the other one. Tattoos on their necks and tattoos in their freaking cleavage area.
The passport bro dissing startup kit. Get a septum ring, be some kind of clown. Like either have the clown lipstick on, with the stars in the eyes, and make gestures and movements with your face like effects with the phone. It's wild, man. But this is what passport bros are dealing with.
They always mention us wanting little children, us buying impoverished people and stuff. They never mention anything about divorce laws. They never mention anything about alimony. Never mention anything about paternity laws and, custody battles. It's always about men wanting, to buy kids or something.
And then they turn around and say, okay, we do this, hit them a little belt. Let's talk about what's going on in Colombia. Let's do that. They're going to give it a purchase woman. Like, do you know how offensive that is? Let me tell you guys something. Because a lot of times they say that. They're talking about the Philippines, right? Do you know Philippines women find it offensive? I did a reaction to it, like, right before this video. A woman in the Philippines finds it offensive when guys talk about money. So say if a guy's a passport bro and goes over to the Philippines and says...
You know why it's offensive? Because you're purchasing them. like there's some commodity to buy. People don't like that other than women in the United States. Women in the United States are so used to prostitution that they don't even know that they're engaging in it their whole time. Where women in Asian countries don't like talking about that because that's what it is. If you're in front of a woman talking about how much money you have and money and things like that, so you're saying you want to buy me. This is so the thought process in the United States. We're just prostitutes. The man has to pay. He has to spend $200 on a date and shit for me.
Yeah, I got some money. I got some this, and this. You know what's gonna happen? The girl's gonna jump up and walk the other way.
Yep.
And not talk to that guy. Why is that? So if everything you're saying is right, why is it when guys do that, the opposite happens? Why? Why is that happening? Right? Why are women looking for guys that can relate with more? Why are women more understanding? And guys are leaving and finding out, wow, the women are more understanding.
They are.
It's night and day from what these women are saying because they see what you're saying. These women in other countries see what you're saying, and you're saying it hoping that they'll look at us and go, oh, no, stay away from those guys. But you know what you're doing?
That is a stupid thing. I do think that one of the big reasons why they're doing this is also not just to shame men for not leaving, is to try to get this information out to women in these countries, thinking that these women are going to just fall for it. They're like, oh yeah, these men are there to take advantage of you. These men, are broken dusties. When these women have seen it all their lives, from their grandparents, their great grandparents, all the way till now, how this has always worked. Americans come to their country, pick up a wife or meet a wife, and they live pretty happy lives. It's not a fucking one-off thing.
They see what you're saying, and they're saying, I want to find out. Actually, you're helping us.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I'm married, but all of the other passport bros out there want to say thank you. Give her a fist pump, guys. Say thank you. What's her name? I can't see her TikTok name. Say thank you, whatever her name is. I appreciate everything you did for me.
Emotional damage.
It's just like weird to me. It is so weird to me that you would go and degrade black women in America.
Another one.
Calling them linebackers and threes who drive Nissans when you literally participate in trafficking and are ugly. I don't get it.
What happened with your braids?
Right?
You see how unhinged this woman is? And her braids, she took out all of the hair in her braids. Her weave is popping and not popping at the same time, right? It's halfway done because she made it halfway done. She's unhinged. Looked like she just took a hit of crack. That's what she. That's some good smell. She looks like a head.
Because you're not that hot looking yourself, just because women in Brazil are playing you for your money does not mean, I just don't understand the thought of making an entire TikTok where you're degrading black women in Atlanta because you miss, women.
Stop it. Get some help.
In Brazil who, obviously didn't seem to, care too much.
She got a picture it seemed like we gotta care too much. What's wrong?
I do agree. I've worked at the liquor, I've owned a liquor store, gas station in the ghetto. I have seen some pretty fucked up shit. A lot of druggies and a lot of people, and she's close to it. Guys, I'll give you an example. At my gas station, there's guys that come in and be like, Can I get that? All the time. It was an everyday thing, guys. So seeing some of the movements she makes, gives me a little PTSD about it.
Oh, why is she fidgety?
Much about you, because then you'd be in Brazil or you'd have your woman here rather than, complaining about black women on TikTok like a lowlife.
Wow, man. Guys they're all coming out the woodworks. All of them. Like, what? And you know what's wild? I'm not gonna lie, she's not the most trash. But still, all in all, nobody wants you. Let me break it down, right? I'm not trying to say she's ugly. You're unhinged, right? So you're a woman, you're probably unhinged because of all the bodies you've collected, right? Every time I see a woman that's had a bunch of bodies, she's like fidgety, always thinking about something, always on the lookout, always moving, like that busybody spirit. It's wild. It's in a lot of them. And guys are leaving to avoid that because we all realize it's definitely more to life than being around a woman like you.
Hold the line.
Shout outs to More to Life. Passport Bros. All the women can only do is just keep repeating the exact same talking points, even though they've been debunked so many times. Drizzle, drizzle. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.